Wilson. And here on the TV table, up first, we welcome the 2023 International Championship winner. It's Zhang Anda. And his opponent is a 41-time ranking event champion. Please welcome the Rockets, Ronnie Sullivan.
This is going to be a special evening of snooker. So without further ado, let's hand to our commentary team for this evening of Stephen Holworth and David Hendon.
You won the toss.
Ronnie O'Sullivan has already won a record 23 prestigious Triple Crown events. Can he add the game's new major title to his glittering array of trophies? Well, first of all, he's got to get past Zhang Anda,
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
who's had the most extraordinary year. In many ways, it started with his defeat of O'Sullivan at the English Open last year. Reached the final there, lost to Judd Trump. Beat O'Sullivan at the International Championship, won that title. Got to the final of the Players' Championship. Was very poor at the Crucible, but last night produced the performance of the tournament. 4 total clearances, including 3 1-3-8s to beat Ben Wollaston 5-0. If he can produce that, he can beat anybody. Question is there extra pressure, centre stage, big crowd playing O'Sullivan? We'll find out. It's best of 11. Looking forward to this one. He's missed one. It wasn't easy. I thought he got that, actually. Just stayed out.
Yeah, that was a brilliant first attempt. Not far away. I was with you there. I thought that was just going to creep in off the near jaw.
One.
So first good chance falls to Ronnie. And he'll be looking to put the pressure on early doors here. He'll know that the last 2 times these players have met, that he has been
8
on the receiving end, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
9.
He'll also know just how well Zhang Anda played yesterday. If Zhang can play like that, no one can stop him. But it's very unlikely that he's going to produce another performance like that. It's very difficult to replicate that high level. Well,
40.
I wouldn't even call it a high level, it's just astronomical level.
Great
15.
picture, actually, of Ben Wollaston with his arms out as if to say, what's going on? Poor old Ben. He was playing well, wasn't he? But you've got to actually get to the table in this game to play well. And that's why O'Sullivan will be determined here in frame 1. He'll be aware of what's happened, just to lay down an early marker.
$22. $23.
So this, the last of the loose reds after this black. Before Ronnie will have his sights set on how best to get into them. It's not the best pack ever to go into from the black, to
30.
be honest. He'd be looking for a half ball contact off the edge if he goes into them from the black.
31.
And there he's come up a little straight. Possibly doesn't have enough angle to try and force that cue ball in. This will be some shot. he's gone the top spin route. It was always going to be difficult. You could see him just gearing up for that one. Long backswing to
38.
generate plenty of cue speed, but he was always going to be a tall order.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 38.
Big night, of course, on the other tables as well. Karen Wilson, the world champion, up against Jimmy Robertson, who he beat. Robertson probably should have beaten him in Jian. He had chances, but Wilson beat him, of course, won the tournament. Bingham Williams kind of speaks for itself. Heavyweight clash. And Pang Zhengzhu, Si Jiawei, two other real talents from China going head to head. Clash of styles there, I think. Pang is quite a tough character. Si Jiawei likes to sort of get the balls open. But in terms of the crowd, the focus is definitely on this table and on this man at the table. When he won last night, there was quite a spike in ticket sales.
Again, another very tough pot for Zhang Anda to go at. Made a little bit easier by the fact that he knew he wasn't going to be leaving anything. That was a real test of cueing. He didn't seem overly pleased last night, Ronnie, after his win against Lei Paifan, but I thought he played quite well considering it was his first match in the event. I thought he played quite nicely. I know he's such a perfectionist. He's always searching for something that possibly isn't there. We all know how good he can play at his best. He also plays pretty well when he's not at his best.
One.
There's always the chance this can go in, but he holds his hand up. But it's finished pretty nice. Let's be clear, what he did last night was unbelievable. Really was. That feat of break building. Hard to replicate it. Hang on, where's this white? Oh, just about okay. Hard to replicate it, but he might not necessarily have to play that well. As I say, he's got the 2 wins over O'Sullivan in the last 2 events to look back on. If he can produce a high-quality performance, he's got every chance.
It's not just the numbers that were so impressive, it's the discipline to just carry on continuously, relentlessly when you're at the table. You get to that frames 1
4.
target, get to the 100, you know, and you could be forgiven for just playing the odd careless one, just half-heartedly, but he didn't.
Yellow ball.
He wanted to clear up every time he came to the table, and that just shows you exactly where he is mentally.
Zhang Anda, 4.
Well, he nearly potted that yellow, actually, but he just was stuck on the red, so was playing safe. Remember, this is best of 11 now. Frames duration have gone up. Already got Judd Trump, Neil Robertson and Sean Murphy through, plus Xiao Guodong.
Ronnie not willing to take any chances with that one. Very tough position where the cue ball came to rest. Just playing the containing shot, was always going to leave this red potentially down the rail, but it's not a lot of value for Zhang.
One.
Well, that is a brilliant pot. Superb red from Zhang. He was leaving balls as well. That had to go. And if one shot would tell you how this man is feeling, it was that one. Full of confidence off the back of that performance last night.
8.
I think his game plan tonight is try and take it to Ronnie, try and give him it. Give him a taste of his own medicine. Try and outscore him.
9.
And that's what he's going to have to do.
If he wins the match, it'll only be a 10th quarter-final appearance. That's the thing about the rise he's had. He's not been gradual. He was sort of bouncing along in the mid-rankings, and then suddenly last season accelerated. Got himself in the top 16, became a winner of a big event in China, the International Championship. And he did back that up. He got to the final of the Players as well.
16.
Quite remarkable, really. And it gives
17.
other players hope as well, who have been in the similar position, that you can make the breakthrough. Sometimes there's nothing stopping you but yourself.
And it also shows what a long road it is as a snooker player. As you say, he turned pro back in 2009, was on and off
24.
the tour. I remember seeing him in Q School, which doesn't seem all that long ago. And there are moments throughout a player's career where you think, maybe is it for me, this game? You know, just sitting
25.
mid-ranks, thinking maybe you're just going to be a journeyman, but he's kept batting. And what a season he had last year. The season that dreams are made of.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of prize money, he earned more than half of his entire career prize money last season. Over 400,000, 750 total for his career, so that speaks for itself. Anyway, just focusing here, he seems to have done the hard work. The first red, of course, was the shot.
Yeah, it was a brilliant opening red, and a red that probably deserves to win him the frame, but there are no guarantees. He has to keep his focus, keep his discipline here. He does have the balls at his mercy. He's opened them nicely. Just needs to see out the job. Get his first frame on the board, get himself settled down.
Corin Wilson's going to be 1-0 up against Jimmy Robertson, and Stuart Bingham is going to take the first against Mark Williams. The field has thinned out, and that,
41.
of course, is reflected backstage. There's fewer people around, so the players will be looking around thinking, well, someone's got to win this thing, why not me? Certainly if you can get to the quarter-final round, then you must fancy your chances.
Well,
it's going to need to get the rest out here. Still be surprised if it went wrong. He's got this calm demeanour, hasn't
45.
he? This very placid manner around the table, which in itself is a strength. He doesn't really show emotion, keeps it all inside.
Yeah, he always seems to have a very soft focus.
52.
Never looks too intense out there, never shows real emotion. Just goes about his business. He knows how good he can play. I think a season like last year will give any player a huge amount of confidence, make you realise that perhaps you do belong in this game with the best players. And naturally, with having such a good season, you'll find yourself playing on the
53.
TV table more frequently, which in itself can only be a good thing. More experience, the more you're in these positions, the more comfortable you feel. Then all of a sudden playing on the outside tables like last night seems like a doddle.
Well, he's going to need this yellow to secure the frame.
58.
So after the first good red, he's just checking the score. After the first good red, he's controlled things really nicely.
$60. $63.
Just a nice break to settle into the evening.
$67. Zhang under.
It ends at 67. It was all about the first shot. A great red along the top cushion. So we're off and running then with Zhang Anda leading Ronnie O'Sullivan 1-0. Jimmy Robertson up against the world champion, Karen Wilson. Wilson's won the opener there. Of course, he beat O'Sullivan in Xi'an in the semis a couple of weeks ago and went on to win the title. So already a trophy on the cabinet this season for Karen.
Thank you. Second frame. Zhang under to break.
Here on table one, Zhang Anda with a very nicely controlled 67 in the opening frame. playing for a place in the quarterfinals here in Riyadh. O'Sullivan looking to reach a 146th ranking event quarter-final. John Higgins is next on the list, 142, but of course those guys do not play for quarter-finals. They're here to win trophies, but even so, just shows you how deep he's gone in so many tournaments.
He's nearly made a maximum of quarters. It's ridiculous, isn't it, how good they've been for so long. But he's definitely in a match tonight, Ronnie O'Sullivan. There was not much resistance last night from Leipai Fan. He definitely knows he's in one tonight. Zhang Ander's safety game tonight is going to be key. If he can keep Ronnie in the long grass, try and make Ronnie force his way in somehow, he's definitely got half a chance, because his scoring is not the issue. Zhang Ander looks very good when he gets in, but if he can keep Ronnie somewhere where he is now, just with not much to go at. Yeah, good safety shot. Finding the thin edge of the red, not doing much damage to the pack, keeping it tight, getting a good cue ball.
Pang Zhengzhu has won the opener against Si Jiaowei, so we're off and running on all four tables. Just a slight misjudgment catching the knuckle, but no problem with the result.
He's just possibly lost control of the frame though. If Ronnie can get somewhere in behind brown or yellow, well, he's not been able to do that, and that's not the best shot he's ever played. He's not put Zhang under any pressure here. He's got safety options available. He's also got a red to right corner available. Can he stroke this in and commit fully, just drop it in for the black? Oh, what a shot that is. I tell you what, he is so good at that type of shot when he's just floating them in full length of the table. He's so accurate.
Well, the young lady on the left enjoyed it.
wasn't best pleased with that one. He's not straight enough. Wanted to be straighter on the red to middle. Now the cue ball is going into another red, which in a way makes the pot more difficult, as your attention is slightly on the cue ball as well. No, he's played it very nicely. Came around, just had a little look at how that cue ball was going to make contact with those reds. Went straight through them, perfect on the black.
So
he's got a couple of options here, Zhang, to pot this red, go into the pack
17.
off the black, or he could play for the loose red. He's got two loose reds available, one to middle, one pretty much on the pink spot that will go to right corner, sorry, before he really needs to focus on how he's going to go about getting into those reds. He's perfect. He can pot this red now and leave
24.
himself top side of the blue. And then it's a free shot to go into the pack with that red being closest to the middle.
25. $30.
I think he's okay on that red to right corner. He can just pot it and just screw back a fraction into the red just above it, hold for the black.
$31. $38. $39.
Well, Zhang had its first term pro in 2009, so it's been a long time coming, all of this. And if even you went back just 12 months, and if you'd have said he was going to do what he has done, I don't think people would have believed it, really. Maybe he wouldn't have done, but here we are.
$46. $47.
In a funny old way, he's very mesmerising to watch. You know, he's not slow, but he's not quick. He just plays at such a nice, controlled rhythm. It's all very measured, but it just fills you
54.
with confidence watching him, that you just fancy him to do the job every time he comes to the table in this sort of form.
$55.
Well, he's not come up the right side of the blue, but he's okay with the single red to right corner. This has been a really solid start from Zhang. He's a few shots away now from taking this second frame. One good strike on this red and you feel
60.
This is possibly frame ball.
Well, it wasn't exactly clean, but it sort of bulldozed its way into the pocket, and that'll do. He'll need another red after the black. So it's going to be this plan.
68.
Well, it's another terrific break, and again got in with a good red from distance, and has just kept it going nicely. Yeah, we talk about players, you know, making the game look easy. I think he's in that category because he doesn't necessarily play sort of Hollywood shots, but that's not how you win frames of snooker. It's doing the efficient stuff well, keeping control of the cue ball. He's absolutely everything, and he's done that now for 2 frames.
77.
Well, maybe on the blue, but the frame's gone anyway. 59 left. Would like a century, I'm sure.
Zhang under
77
Under
to follow 67 in the first frame. So a terrific start to the night from Zhang Anda, who played so well last night. He's carrying that form into this match, and he leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 2-0. So Kyron Wilson, the world champion, he's involved in a close frame here. They're on the colours. He's 1-0 up against Jimmy Robertson. This is frame 2. In fact, they're on the last red. As I say, Robertson really should have beaten him in Xi'an. He had chances, but he didn't. And Kyron Wilson came through, won the tournament, beat O'Sullivan and Trump actually in the last 2 rounds. Good to see Jimmy Robertson having a good time of it, though. Of course, he is a ranking event winner, won the European Masters a few seasons back. But back to table
Thank you,
one, where it's been
frame
all
three.
Zhang
Ronnie
under.
O'Sullivan to break.
2-0 he leads. He's had breaks of 67 and 77 against Ronnie O'Sullivan. And you wouldn't say O'Sullivan's done much wrong, really. I mean, he left that sort of tempter in the first frame. It was a tough one along the top cushion. He did have a chance at a long red in the second, didn't get it. Zhang knocked one in and made the winning break from it.
Yeah, the first frame he was always going to be leaving that red down the rail, Ronnie, because he was in a really awkward spot when the cue ball was on top of the yellow, so did absolutely nothing wrong, really, in that first. Zhang just seems to be continuing off from where he finished last night against Ben Wollaston. These next two frames before the mid-session interval are going to be massive. Where's this red going? Oh, dear me. What a fluke.
Well, sometimes there are small signs it might be your night. O'Sullivan was out of his seat, wasn't he? He's about to come to the table. Very lucky that was.
But it's all well and good getting the good fortune. Can he back it up now with a good pot on the brown? Absolutely he can.
Five. Six.
Now, if you can just drop this black in and play on the red to the opposite corner, or no, not able to do it, having to screw back, play for the red into the same pocket, slightly thinner than he would have liked. But in removing this red, it opens the black spot up a little better.
$14. $21.
Well, our MC Tahir
22.
Hajat, before play began, he asked the audience who they were supporting. It has to be said, it was something of a landslide in favour of Ronnie O'Sullivan. But what the crowd are seeing here is someone playing some sublime snooker. OK, got the fluke to start the break, but overall, Zhang Anda, there's an argument to say he's playing
29.
the best of anyone in this event, if you put it together with last night, and the start he's made here.
30.
And what a time to find this kind of form. Got the potential to win this event come Saturday and take £500,000 prize money. Now, that really would be the maddest of years for Zhang Anda. He's certainly playing
38.
well enough to win this tournament. So can he find his cue ball in and out of balk? Just needs to avoid the yellow. Oh yeah, perfect again. Great shot.
43.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the people here have come to see Ronnie O'Sullivan play, but not much he can do right now.
$44.
Dr. Nasser, of course, from the Saudi Federation.
$51.
Will have to disturb this cluster if he's going to win the frame at this visit.
He might like to pop this red now and then play the cannon into the pack of reds. Could possibly screw off the 6, knowing that he's got that loose red that he could land on to left middle. Well, he may have a slight bit too much angle on this red. And he's tried it anyway. Yeah, he's not quite
52.
got low enough on this black, so he won't be going into the pack this time.
$59. $60.
Oh, he was up very quickly there. He knew the moment he struck that one that it was not heading towards the intended destination. He needed an angle on the pink, I would presume, to then just come down and attack that cluster of 6. This would be some shot now. So this frame not over just yet. Still 75 points remain.
66.
Yeah, O'Sullivan will be coming back to the table. 75 points, Stephen says, on 66 the difference. So the clearance may be on at some point, and it could be a key moment in the whole match. The Reds opening
Zhang
up,
under
one going to the
66.
cushion, so that's some sort of security.
Yeah, he's took a little bit of a gamble there, Zhang, choosing to open the pack of reds, but made better by the fact he has pushed a red safe.
Jimmy Robertson won that second frame against Kyron Wilson, so it's 1 each there. Still 1-0 Bingham over Williams, 1-0 Pang over C.
So Ronnie had a little glance off the yellow there, which has restricted Zhang from seeing the majority of the reds. Possibly going for this one. Oh, and again, what a strike.
Yeah.
Brilliant cueing. He just doesn't look like he's going to miss.
Yeah, another terrific pot. Now, he needs something in here. Without a colour, there's still 67 on. So this yellow, and O'Sullivan needs a snooker. Well, he's played terrifically well so far. He's got this unfussy way about him.
3.
which is quite endearing in a way, I think. You know, we see some players, and they're great to watch, who come out sort of chest puffed out. You know who the sort of top players are sometimes. But Zhang Anda, who is a top player, he's a bit more reserved, but very, very effective, as we've seen this evening, as we saw last night.
He goes massively under the radar, Zhang Anda. You barely see him in the players' lounge as well. And as you say, he just comes out, nothing fancy about him. He's just very effective at what he does. He's become a dangerous, dangerous player in the last couple of seasons. He's always been a good player. Everybody's known that. But his results have just been simply superb. And it isn't very often we say this about Ronnie O'Sullivan, but one, he's in big trouble, and two, this next frame is a must-win frame.
17.
Yeah, I mean, really, he's barely had a look in, has he, O'Sullivan? He's not really had chances, and we don't really know how he's playing tonight, because the match has been dominated by this man. That white's gone in, but it doesn't matter. He's done the damage with the earlier 66. So Zhang Anda ploughs on. He's already halfway towards a place in the quarterfinals, leading 3-0. (3-0) to Zhang Anda here against Ronnie O'Sullivan, last 16 of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters.
Zhang Anda to break.
Mark Williams has just made a 47 clearance to the black to pinch the second frame, level up 1 each with Stuart Bingham. Karen Wilson 1 each with Jimmy Robertson. Pang Zhengzhu looks like he's about to go 2-0 up on Si Jiawei. Zhang here has had breaks of 67, 77 and 66. He's looked really good. Some of the reds he's potted to get in have been terrific.
Well, it's been pretty much perfect snooker so far from Zhang Anda again. Okay, he's not made any century breaks or total clearances yet, but he's definitely played the better of the two, and Ronnie O'Sullivan is certainly under it.
Yeah, he's taken a couple of long ones on, just haven't quite found their target.
One.
Here we go again then.
It's not just the way he's playing, Zhang under the figures he's hitting. It's the concentration, the focus that he's found. It's very difficult to find that level of intensity out there in the arena for such a consistent period of time.
4.
You know, you can be forgiven to string a couple of frames, 2, 3 frames together and then just drop for a moment or two. He doesn't look like he's going to do that.
5.
Just looks like every time he comes to the table, he just wants to clear up. And at the minute, you fancy him for it.
Twelve. 13.
So he's got the chance now to pot this black, leave himself low on the red at the back of the pack. Possibly bring more reds into play that way. Well, he's perhaps a little lower than he would have liked, but at least he is
20.
low. This way he can just focus all his attentions on potting the red. The cue ball's going through the pack. Just try and top it out, stay on the black.
$21.
Well, he might not be on the black, but he might have a pleasant surprise when he goes round and has a look at the pink. Can he get through to it? Well, for once, his body language has given us an idea as to how he's feeling. I don't think he is on that pink.
Blue ball.
Well, what does it matter? Positional play is overrated anyway. When you can pump them in like that from anywhere on the
26.
snooker table, it doesn't matter where you leave the cue ball.
Didn't these make a lovely noise for Zhang anyway? Such a confident shot that to recover. But he has missed, and you can hear the cheers go on Ronnie. We've heard those all around the world over the years. Such a good blue, but then misses the red.
For a split second there, he's just lost his intensity after such a good blue to corner, to miss that red. Now this, Ronnie O'Sullivan has to make. He has to do the damage in this frame, make this chance count. Just keep Zhang under honest in this frame. Because it was a chance, I'm sure, a couple of minutes ago, he thought was not going to arrive.
Straight away, just trying to free a few more reds, knowing he has this one near the pocket.
9.
Every ball being applauded in by this crowd.
It's such a big frame as well, because if he can win it, Zhang Anda has got a 15-minute interval to just think about that missed red, and he will be thinking about it, thinking about how he could have been 4-0 up potentially, rather than the fact that he's played unbelievably well to be 3-1 up. Still a long way away from that just
16.
yet, but that really did come from nowhere.
$17.
And that is a brilliant strike from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Made better by the fact he hasn't had a lot of table time.
Well, he's been cited more than once on the practice table here. He's been putting the work in.
22.
He's been saying he hasn't been happy with his game the last couple of years, but a lot of players who played him, I think, might disagree. Let's not forget, he won 5 tournaments last season, including, of course, the invitation event here in Riyadh. But I think it's his sort of pursuit of perfection that is the secret to him still being at the top. If he'd just settled for a certain level, even a high level, then maybe he wouldn't be so driven to keep going. Even if at times it has created a bit of a love-hate relationship with the game.
And that's the difference, isn't it? It's hard to
36.
really appreciate and comprehend how he thinks. You know, he's won 5 tournaments and had the most successful career ever.
37.
I think if I was in his position, I'd be on a yacht somewhere. You'd probably never see me again, but he's still searching for a cue action. It's just completely admirable. But this is a massive frame for Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's a must-win.
Well, great champions come alive when there's a challenge, which there is here in this match. Not just the scoreline, but how well Zhang's played to go 3-0 up. Julian Bell, the referee here.
43. .44.
Well, it wasn't the best little cluster to go
49.
into. There wasn't really much room for error there from Ronnie. He has opened the red slightly, but this is now a very, very missable red to middle. One that man there is hoping he does miss. Oh, that's a brilliant pot. Wow, what a shot that is from Ronnie. Look at how he's played it as well, so confidently.
Like I say, for 3.5 frames, we didn't really know how he was playing because he wasn't at the
57.
table. Well, he is now as he lines this plant up. Already 31 in front. So that one miss from Zhang Anda after the great recovery blue has just opened the door for O'Sullivan in this match. He needed something to happen. Another wonderful shot.
63.
And this red gets him on the scoreboard as the players head to the interval. He's come alive
64.
just at the right time. Well, he's looking at the scoreboard. 1 snooker needed. He's not quite on the pink here, so Zhang will get his chance to play for the snooker. But he's going to be in one himself.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 64.
Good 64 from Ronnie O'Sullivan, just to get involved tonight.
Foul, Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Well, that just eases any real pressure. 2 snookers needed now. And again, looking to put Zhang in another. So it's looking very much like 3-1. Zhang Anda just made 1 error, really, the misread in this frame. Other than that, he's played superbly. It sets it up nicely for the second half of this last 16 encounter here in Riyadh. didn't want it in, and he's going to concede the frame. It's one fluke he didn't want. He's played terrific stuff, but O'Sullivan gives his big army of fans some hope with that 64. He's on the scoreboard, but at the interval, it's Zhang Anda leading by 3 frames to 1.
Of Stephen Hallworth and Dave Hendon.
So the players return after the interval. Zhang Anda's played superbly, but arguably the biggest moment was his missed red after the great blue in frame 4. It allowed O'Sullivan in for that 64. Zhang leads 3-1. He's 3 away from the quarterfinals. Crowd excited to see the players return for the rest of the night. And we're excited to see O'Sullivan get that frame on the board. He's opening an academy here in Riyadh soon. So very much is committed to this part of the world for the next few years. And we've seen the way the audience have come in and embraced him as well. It would be a disappointment for them, worried to go out. But Zhang Anda, okay, he did slip up there in frame 4. Overall, he's played really well. If he can just get that miss out of his mind and focus on the positives. Fact is, he's still 3-1 up.
But sometimes in these big matches, in big events, they can just turn on one particular moment. I just wonder if we'll be looking back at the end of this match to that misread from Zhang Anda, because up till then he'd not put a single foot wrong. And what it has done is it's just presented a glimmer of hope for Ronnie O'Sullivan. The gap could have been 4, it's now only 2. That feels massive.
Well, certainly if O'Sullivan wins, then that miss really will be significant, because that will be where it started.
Again, another very well played safety shot from Zhang Anda. Lovely line on the cue ball, using the green as the covering ball there. Good pace. Not a lot available for Ronnie. Possible gap just right of the pink. Got a thin edge down the left side. Is he going for this red stun across for the black? Yeah, he did do, and he wasn't all that close to it.
Yeah, it's got to be said his long game tonight hasn't quite been firing on all cylinders. Well, again, another terrific pot from Zhang Anda. Again, just struck this so well.
He certainly found the sweet spot. And again, follows it up with a good pot on the brown. Had to navigate his cue ball back down this end. He's played it perfectly.
5.
one way that Zhang will be able to erase that misread in the last frame before the mid-session is by winning this one.
6.
The reds are all quite nicely spread, but they're all kind of covering one another for the time being, so there's a little bit of problem solving for Zhang to do here.
Truth is, we don't really know how he's feeling. He's not one of these players who, if the interval's going to go in the practice room, start slamming doors and throwing cue balls around tables. None of that. He just carrying on as if, you know, the match hadn't even started. Very congested, isn't it, here? Just get this red through the gap.
12.
That now opens up another 2 to that same pocket, the 2 just above and to the right of the black. Not now, but in a few shots' time, he has access to them, which will then slowly but surely open the black spot. Again, just wants to leave himself just off straight on this blue.
18.
Just leave a simple stun down into that nice big area just left of the pink.
$19.
Well, he's under-hit that by some weight. And you
24.
see, he just felt he quit slightly on that as he went through. He wanted that cue ball to travel probably another 6 inches further down the table. I mean, he still does have a pot on a red to right corner, but it's a lot thinner than it should have been, and the pot isn't necessarily the issue, it's controlling the cue ball.
Zhang under 24.
Yeah, it was more the previous positional shot than this miss. Obviously, the two go together. Just left himself an awkward one.
Zhang will just come down and have a little look at the 2 reds furthest right of the big cluster by the pink. Just needs to be careful in playing safe off them. He doesn't push a red over this left corner pocket. Well, and that's exactly what's happened. Didn't catch as intended. As you can see, the cue ball has gone nowhere near where he wanted it to, but that red was always going close to that left corner pocket. That's a mistake from Zhang, possibly a big one.
Well,
I'm not saying Ronnie O'Sullivan's won a lot of tournaments, but I interviewed him the other day, and he actually couldn't remember how many UK championships he'd won. He was trying to, was it 7 or 8? I suppose you stop counting after a while. course, it was the 8th last year, became the oldest winner of it, having been the youngest 31 years ago.
Thirteen.
Already you can see Ronnie just stalking around the table, just learning exactly what balls he wants to remove at which particular stage to make this break as easy as possible. A master at work in the break building department. However, is he on this red?
20.
Yeah, he was nice and easy to just play a little cannon to the black as well. And this pot made slightly easier by the fact there is a red pretty much over the right corner pocket.
$28.
2-2, Stuart Bingham and Mark Williams at the interval. Battle of the former world champions.
36. 37.
Yeah, lovely control, just choosing that moment to push another red into play, knowing that he was always going to hold for the black. So nothing is safe
44.
now on this table. Already 20 points to the good Ronnie O'Sullivan. This is looking very much like 3-2.
45.
Yes, and again, he's been given some help in this frame. Zhang's level is just starting to dip a bit, and the balance of power is starting to shift.
52.
We saw yesterday how Judd Trump came alive
53.
when Wu Yize went in front, couldn't put him away, and Trump just grew stronger and stronger, of course, got the win, and today beat Lazowski pretty comfortably to set up that meeting with Neil Robertson tomorrow.
60. 61.
So 37 in front. The black makes 44 with 43 on. This is frame ball. He's just checking the scores. This is to trail just 3-2. And he's taken these very quickly, hasn't he? This is what can happen if you leave him a chance.
68. 69.
It's amazing how much Ronnie will feel like he's been thrown a lifeline in that frame before the interval. At 4-0, it was looking a very tall order, but at 3-1, he is absolutely delighted in a funny way.
74.
And all of a sudden, 3-2, this is a completely different match now.
75.
Chance to chalk up his first century break of this match as well.
82.
It's exactly what this crowd want to see.
84.
Yeah, he made 2 last night, but for people here tonight who weren't here then, this could be the first time they've ever seen him make a century. It's a special moment for the audience.
87. 91.
So Zhang has just sort of held the door ajar a
96.
little bit, and Ronnie O'Sullivan has stormed through it. Pink for his 3rd century of the tournament.
102.
The comeback is well and truly on.
$102.
Ronnie O'Sullivan with a terrific 109 clearance. Narrows the gap here in Riyadh to just 3-2. Well, it's a cracking match, this, and Ronnie O'Sullivan now making the running. He's just made 109 clearance to win frame 5. He trails 3-2. Zhang has had chances, of course, in the last 2 frames, but unlike the first 3, he hasn't been taking them. Best of 11. The winner plays Mark Williams or Stuart Bingham. They're 2-2. Kyron Wilson's 2-2 with Jimmy Robertson, who's won the 4th frame there. Pang Zhengzhu 3-0 up on Si Jiahui.
What makes this match interesting even more now is we talk about the temperament of Zhang Anda and how good he is when it's going well, when it's all going his way, as it was last night, as it was the first 3 frames of this match. But when somebody puts a little bit of pressure on you, when you're under it that little bit more, how does your temperament stand up then? We've seen him lift the International Championship trophy last season. This is a massive match in this campaign for him. Placing a huge ranking event quarter-final with the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan coming back at you. Can he respond?
Well, they were going in earlier, weren't they? He was hitting them sweet earlier. That missed red in frame 4 is looking bigger and bigger and bigger. It opened the door for O'Sullivan to get a foothold at the interval. And now Zhang is not knocking those in, and he's left the chance here for the Rocket.
a chance
8.
this is for Ronnie. I'm not going to say it,
9.
but this really is a golden chance to score a few points.
You kind of have said it, Stephen, in fairness, in a roundabout sort of way. I think we know what you mean. Let's hope you're right.
16.
Nothing against Zhang, but that would be something, wouldn't it? Of course, Nopensengon might disagree. At the moment, he's sort of half got the 50,000 in his bank account. Obviously, another maximum, he'd have to share it.
17.
It's quite a nice pack for Ronnie to get into. He can just play for the loose red beneath the black now. And off this red, he can leave himself a low angle on the black to go into
24.
that cluster with that loose red to the left available as an insurance ball. Wants
25.
to be parallel with the black if he can. That's not too bad. This is now a free shot into the reds. Yeah, it's gone slightly wrong, I think. Didn't quite get the cue ball in and out of that
32.
pack. The initial contact wasn't the one he was looking for. There you can see he can't get through to that red now.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 32.
Yeah, disappointing. But he's on top at the moment, even though he's trailing 3-2 in this passage of plays on top. So had to just take a moment there, just consider the next shot rather than doing anything rash.
Yeah, that's the difference as well. The disappointment over the fact that he knew it was a good chance to get those reds open and potentially keep himself on the black. Completely erased those thoughts and has nailed Zhang to the top cushion. He's left him nothing but this red to right corner. And surely if he misses it, he's doing damage. And that was the reason why he had no shot. Just dumping the cue ball. He's left Ronnie a couple of tempters, but again, Ronnie doesn't have to take anything on here. Just push the cue ball up towards the green again. That red being on the right cushion is a problem ball now for Zhang in terms of his route back to balk down that side of the table. So just biding his time. He was up and down on that shot, Ronnie. He was very nearly tempted by the red to right corner. Took, again, the more patient decision just to try and get Zhang in a lot of trouble, which he has done. He's got control of the table, Ronnie O'Sullivan, at the moment. You feel if Zhang is going to gain any sort of initiative back, he's going to have to pot his way out of trouble. Yeah, that's a good shot. He's played it nicely.
Sijal Wee's got himself on the scoreboard at the interval, 3-1 to Pang Zhengzhou. without seeing that match, it seems that Pang sort of tied him up a bit, but C has made a nice 63 to win frame 4, so he managed to get in and stay in there. In fact, 70, he's just potted the black. So 3-1 to Pang. Obviously some star names left in: O'Sullivan, Trump, Murphy, Robertson, Kyron Wilson, Mark Williams, but players such as Pang Zhengzhou, or in fact Zhang Anda, really, even though he's in the top 16, if they won this, then that really would be transformative. And of course Yao Gudong, at the moment kind of the outsider, he's already through. Again, he's been in a couple of finals, but if he were to triumph here on Saturday, then he'd be in the top 16, he'd be in everything. The other little subplot, John Higgins, at the moment he's still in the top 16, but various things can happen that will knock him out. We worked out earlier that he's been in the top 16 unbroken longer, or rather from before when Stephen was born. May the 1st, 95, Stephen, you weren't alive.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It just shows you how good these top players are. It'd be a real shame for me, personally, to see John Higgins leave the elite top 16. It almost feels like, having grown up watching him play to the level he has, that he just deserves a place in it forever. Don't ever let him leave.
I'm sure John will be watching the results with interest. This match, he's on a real knife edge.
There's been some good safety played here. Both players just trying to force the mistake out of one another, neither willing to push the boat out. Both realise the importance of this frame. It's good to see. It's not very often we see Ronnie get engrossed in a tactical exchange, but we are here. Oh, that's a brilliant pot. Look at how he's played it as well. Fully committed to the pot, knowing he wasn't leaving anything easy for Zhang should he miss it. But in getting it, it's presented a good chance. Brilliant red.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that's a great camera angle. Just how acute the angle was, what a tough pot it was. But what a position he's, within a couple of shots, got himself into here to try and level up. He's already in front in the frame.
9.
Throughout that whole little tactical battle there was a number of moments where Ronnie stood behind the shot and just weighed up his options. He just asking himself the question, is the percentage in my favour? Is there value in this? He decided that there was on that red, and
16.
This is the result. He's the absolute governor at luring you in.
21.
Just gets you where he wants you, and then he attacks. And when he does attack, it hurts.
22.
Yeah, just on the top 16. O'Sullivan did drop out because, of course, he took a year out between the 2012 and 13 World Championships, so obviously didn't earn any ranking points at all. But really, from the top level, he's never been away, has he, since he first burst onto the scene. Wasn't happy with that one, though.
36.
This is the red, though, that should secure the frame. If he can knock it in, he'll be at the snooker's required stage. And in it goes. So this has turned around pretty comprehensively, and it's now Ronnie O'Sullivan who's knocking in the good balls to get in. It was Zhang in the first half of the match. O'Sullivan potted a great red to right middle here.
44. 45.
My memory of the English Open final last year, Zhang was 7-3 up to Judd Trump. He missed a blue in that one, and he lost 9-7. It can happen. Just one shot in this match. Frame 4 missed that red after potting a great blue. That was the start of it for sure.
51.
That's the crippling level that we're at nowadays. One mistake doesn't necessarily cost you the frame, it can cost you the match. But Zhang has to believe he can still win this game. Just reset, it's 3 apiece, it's now a best of 5.
$59. 60.
As I say early on, we weren't sure how he was playing because he wasn't really getting a look in, but now he's monopolising this table and he's playing some terrific stuff.
$75.
There's an old saying, isn't there? If you're going to kill the king, you better not miss. Well, Zhang did miss. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, the GOAT, has taken full advantage. He's getting better and better with every frame here.
84.
And a real chance now for a second century in brilliant style. This frame has been superb from Ronnie.
87.
He lured Zhang into a false sense of security, made him think he had a chance in this frame with that little tactical exchange, gave him the hope.
91.
But it's the hope that kills you. This has been absolutely top draw.
Yeah, started with the great red. And there is the pink. For back-to-back centuries. In fact, back-to-back breaks of 109. Ronnie O'Sullivan now rampant as he levels up at 3-3. Jimmy Robertson and Karen Wilson, 2-2. Wilson's 50 in front here in the 5th frame. Of course, feeling really good after the win in Xi'an. And obviously as world champion. But to win a tournament already as world champion just sort of stops any finger pointing and suggestions that, you know, he might not handle the pressure. He's handled it fine. He's won the first big ranking event since the Crucible.
Frame 7, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Ronnie O'Sullivan then has had back-to-back 109s. So from 3-0 down, it's 3-3.
So Ronnie taking the chance here to just remove one of the reds from the black. Pushing the red to the cushion, knowing in a few shots' time that could be a problem ball for Zhang Anda in terms of returning a safety shot back down that side of the table. You can see there's already 2 reds down the right side. There's always a motive behind Ronnie O'Sullivan's shot selection. It's not just about the shot now, it's about the shot potentially in a few shots' time. Backing Zhang into a corner. Well, the yellow may have just come to Ronnie's rescue. I'd look tight from body language from Zhang. He can get through to this red. Big chance to get in. Well, he could get through, just about wriggled in, and that was a dream kiss on the red. Pretty much had to go in this red. He was leaving everything had he missed it.
Yeah, so let's see how he's feeling now. It's a useful chance, this, to get going again. He's been sort of frozen out the last couple of frames. He's looking
7.
very, very good early on, of course. That man, though, has put him under pressure since. Just to say, Mark Williams has gone 3-2 up on Stuart Bingham. I saw Mark before he played his first match, and he said, "Oh yeah, my cue's not been out the case. I've not been practicing." All of that stuff, you know. I mean, he said the same at the Tour Championship actually in Manchester last season. Of course, he won that, beat O'Sullivan in the final.
The same old
30.
carry on from Mark. Absolutely loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah, whoever wins that match will play the winner of this one.
What he'd do for just a slightly high angle on this red.
20.
It's going to be the outer red, back out for the pink or possibly the blue. Pink's okay.
21.
So just slowly chipping away at the loose ones here, Zhang. One important contribution this is, by the way. He's seen the full force of Ronnie O'Sullivan the last couple of frames, all off the back of that miss in the fourth. He's got to try and steady himself, try and regain control of this match.
27.
Yeah, and also show O'Sullivan that he's not wilting, because many have done over the years in the face of an onslaught. You're always looking for signs of weakness in your opponent.
$34.
Well, he may have landed in that one awkward spot that all snooker players will know. Just potentially not gone far enough for the yellow and just slightly too far for the blue. Got to really power this down the table now. Now, what's his angle like on this red to get back out for a colour?
37.
Well, the angle was absolutely
38.
perfect. He was able to just float the cue ball across, nudge away the red next to the black. Now he's come up a little low on this black, which isn't a bad thing, although he's a little closer to it than he perhaps would have liked. Trouble is, trying to go into the pack from this close to the black, you need to play it with a bit of pace. It becomes a little bit of a jabby one. You've got to get the cue out quickly, out of the way. Can he just catch the outside red and just delicately push them into play? He's tried it. Maybe on this red to middle, and if he is, that's a good shot.
45.46.
So, O'Sullivan, for now, watching on. I'm sure he's wondering, like everyone else, how Zhang will go here. This cue ball needs to slow down.
51.
Still got the red to far corner if he's not on this one.
Wow, it seemed to fly off that second cushion. Thought it struck that nicely. Yeah, I think he thinks he's had a little bit of a bounce. And if he has, he needs to get that disappointment and frustration out of his mind quickly, because he has got the chance to salvage the situation, albeit a lot tougher than it should have been.
Yeah, another big shot coming up, if he fancies it, that is.
Zhang under. 51.
Not to be, but the fact he was left with it was what was on his mind. He got close. Well, he's hit the wrong red there.
Oh, that will really annoy him as well. I think he convinced himself he could get through to that. It looked very tight from where we were. Well, that really is not the sort of mistake you see every day from Ronnie O'Sullivan. They come round once in a blue moon. Now, can Zhang see out this frame now? He should do, really. Ronnie just trying to turn that red over, possibly with a trace of left-hand side to middle pocket. Caught the wrong red. Absolute disaster.
9.
And exactly what Zhang needed, because he was disappointed himself, whether he got the bad bounce or not. He was not on the red that he wanted to be, and he missed the other one. But shouldn't matter now. Great game, this.
16.
And Zhang looks like he's about to just edge back in front. This is frame ball for a 4-3 lead.
17. $24. 25. 32. 33.
Well, I can just relax a bit here, just pop these and get all sort of nervous energy out of his body for now.
40.
Remember, he's won the last 2 meetings with O'Sullivan, including
41.
a big semi-final at the International Championship in China last season. And indeed, I mean, he literally beat Ronnie in his own backyard. It was Brentwood in Essex, not far from where O'Sullivan lives, last year at the English. So he's got that to hold on to, those 2 recent successes. He hasn't, in either match, shown
45.
any trouble getting over the line against O'Sullivan if he gets into that position.
46. 49.
In that match in the semi-final of the International Championship, he was 6-4 down, Zhang Anda, so
51.
before coming back to win 9-6. Tells you that even in the face of adversity, he is able to respond. His temperament will definitely aid him in that department. He knows that he's got it in the locker, and he's going to have to find it tonight. This has been a good frame to win.
Zhang under 54, under frame.
Yes, and when he has 54, the break from Zhang Anda, and he stops the rot. He's back in front here, 4-3-6 the target for a place in the quarterfinals. Well, that's what they're playing for. Lovely trophy, plus, of course, the £500,000 first prize on Saturday. This is still the last 16, though, and Zhang Anda leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 4-3. It's been terrific viewing.
Frame 8.
Zhang led 3-0. O'Sullivan level. Zhang has gone back in front. I can tell you the world champion, Karen Wilson, who was 50-0 up in the fifth frame against Jimmy Robertson, trails 3-2. He lost that frame. Mark Williams leads Stuart Bingham 3-2. Pang Zhengzhou leads Si Jiawei 3-1 in tonight's other matches. Tomorrow afternoon, Judd Trump against Neil Robertson. One of the great modern rivalries. Always bring the best out in one another, it seems. And Sean Murphy against Xiao Guodong as well.
So good safety shot from Zhang. He's cut off all the reds. Ronnie trying to nestle up into the back of these. He needs to be careful here. Get very close to the black. Well, the pace was perfect. Couldn't have judged it any better, really. Nothing really Zhang could do from the position he was in, but he may find himself in more trouble the next time he comes back to the table. Ronnie looking for somewhere in behind the green again, needs to avoid the knuckle. Very disappointing, very annoying, you can see, for Ronnie. That was a routine safety shot. He's lost control of the table for this little exchange. Can Zhang just float this red into right corner, control the cannon off the reds and hold for the black? Ooh, that was a wide.
Yeah, and O'Sullivan, who was furious as he sat down, strides forward. Blue's gone safe, which never helps a frame.
One.
They're willing it in. They're willing it in. Just.
8.
Mark Williams 4-2 now over Stuart Bingham on table 3 as we see this again. Took its time, didn't it? Get in there.
Very tight as well.
Yeah,
he's just asking the referee, Julian Bell, to respot this black because it was very tight and he needs to make sure it's absolutely bang right here. Sometimes it can be quite deceiving, stood behind the side of the table, that Ronnie is looking at the black past the red. Quite often you see a player come behind the pocket. That's the true image. But he obviously felt it didn't pop the second time.
Twelve. 13.
Good recovery shot. He can pop the green here, get back down for the reds. Just coming around to have a look at the black again. I don't think it'll pop. He's obviously convinced himself it doesn't go. So ideally he'd like the pink in play, or at least play on either of the two reds beneath the black from this shot, which is what he's tried. Well, that couldn't have worked out any better for Ronnie. He didn't play the little cannon off the red. He's played into an area, but the cannon helps massively because it's just pushed the red away from the line of the black. That black now pots. And in removing this red, it pots into both pockets.
17. $24. 12. 25.
Well, he won't be best pleased with that if he's landed short on
32.
this red. Didn't want to have to go up the table. Oh, he's just about okay. Well, he's gone up the table anyway.
33.
And now he's further away than he would have liked. Didn't have to play up the table there. He could have left himself really high on the black. Took the chance to bring more reds into play, though. Because it doesn't matter where you leave yourself when you can pot balls like this man.
35. 36.
There's been a lot of work for only 36 points up till now. He's slowly getting himself back into position here.
39. 40. 47. 48. 55.
So again, a little further away than he would have liked. But again, it makes no difference whatsoever. 63 points when this black disappears, needs one more red. Oh, and the cannon hasn't worked out.
63.
So the break goes to 63 in what feels like a marathon contribution. He's grafted hard for this break, but he still needs one more red. His consolation being the brown and blue are safe.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 63.
Yeah, that blue going safe, it's now in his favour, but had it not done, he probably would have done enough already because, of course, he was taking a few bulk colours. If he'd have took a couple of blues, he'd be over the line. But anyway, he's in a strong position, 63 in front, 67 on. Zhang having to be careful here. O'Sullivan just needing one more red, and it's 4-4.
tried to push that red into the little pack of 3 reds and pinks. And he's shaking his head because he might have fancied being on that red to right corner had it not gone into the pack of reds. So a little bit fortunate for Zhang. Didn't play tight in behind the yellow there. Now, is this cue ball just too close to this red to be tempted down the rail? The answer is yes, it would seem. Chance to just bring those 3 reds into play, but as he plays up the table, he needs to ensure he doesn't leave a tempter to right corner for Ronnie.
Yeah, superb. Shot to nothing, but the red going in means Zhang needs snookers. And little flick on the blue, 5 extra points. It's surely 4-4. What a great match, and it's now best of 3.
And that was the problem with the safety shot that Zhang played. If he didn't get a good cue ball, he was always leaving a shot for Ronnie. And how often do we see him knock that type of shot in, that in shot? So good.
There's just a real keenness about him as well, just in the body language. He's living every shot. He really wants this. Obviously, being here in Saudi Arabia, it's what he considers a step forward for the game.
14.
And he would love to be the last man standing on Saturday, as he was in Riyadh for the invitation tournament earlier this
21.
year. Golden ball and all.
22.
Different vibe to this event. It's a ranking event. Of course, we had 144 players here from the start, but the crowd, the field, I should say, thinning out. We'll be down to just 8 tomorrow.
29. 30. 35. 37.
And now it's play time for Ronnie. Just clearing these colours left-handed. Because he can.
40.
Been a really interesting match this. It's still very difficult to pick a winner. It's very much game on now.
44.
It's amazing to look back at the fuss that was made when he first started playing left-handed back in the mid-90s. People said he was disrespecting the game. Well, it's not disrespectful if the balls are going in the pockets.
55.
How dare he?
So game on again. Terrific stuff this match. Ronnie O'Sullivan clears up with 62. Having earlier made 63. It's 4-4. So it's 4-4, and as I say, effectively the best of three. Mark Williams has made a
Thank you.
dash for the line, though. He's
Ronnie
5-2 up
O'Sullivan to
against
break.
Stuart Bingham. Corin Wilson's level 3-3 with Jimmy Robertson. Sijia Wee's pull one back. He's 3-2 down to Pang Jung-soo. O'Sullivan there breaks of 63 and 62. Well, every little helps, and at this stage, a fluke like that could be massive. Not just to pop the red, but to be on a colour.
Yeah, and he had a big fluke early on in this match, did Zhang Anda, and he capitalised heavily on it. Won the frame from it, in fact. Can he do the same here? What a time for that to happen. First task is to get a bit of rhythm going again. Just find his stride once more around the table.
Five.
Yeah, it's fair to say, I think O'Sullivan wasn't necessarily impressed with the fluke, but he'll be focused in that seat for the moment the chance comes, if it comes.
I'd like to leave the red at the back end of the pack well alone for the time being. That's okay where it is. If you can play on either of the two reds just on the right of the picture. In leaving the red at the back of the pack there, it gives him the option to go into the reds
9.
at some point from the black. Potentially screw into them, screw the cue ball out. That red is there ready for waiting. Yeah, that's
10.
okay. He can just, yeah, he's good. He can float this black in, play for the red beneath. Just found one good positional shot, which should get him going in this break now. Well, he's decided to play for this red. So it now becomes a flat pack, which is
70.
not ideal really to go into from the black anymore.
$18.
If he chooses to leave himself parallel on the black now to then go into
25.
that pack of reds, it's very much the same shot we saw from Ding Junhui last night in the decider against Stuart Bingham. The shot that eventually led to his tip coming off.
26.
Unbelievable scenes. He's got that shot available to him now. Screw off the pack of reds with plenty of reverse side. As I say, it's not the best pack to go into. Well, he decided to go off the edge, catch the left-hand red half ball. He's opened them
33.
nicely, and I'm not sure he's on one. Just wasn't a good pack to go into, really, from the black. It never is.
Zhang under 33.
Well, answers on a postcard for that one. That was a big miss hit from Anda Zhang.
Well, whatever he was trying to do, it didn't work. But on this occasion, O'Sullivan doesn't get in.
He's been very fortunate there, Zhang, because he could have left Ronnie something a lot easier. The shot he's, or I presume the shot he's tried to play, is to try and pot the red into the corner at pace through the pack of reds, and the gap must have been minute. Barely enough to fit a ball through, never mind playing it at pace with the rest. Could have left Ronnie something a lot easier than that red.
We had one like this not so long ago, different context. It goes in 33 to the good. Big chance for a 5-4 lead. Nicely done. See, Joel Wee has had a century, so he's tied 3-3 with Pang Zhengzhou from 3-1 down as we see this red again. It's got a bit tense though, isn't it? Unsurprisingly, as it's 4 each in a best of 11. He's just starting to take a bit more time over shots as he just tries to get something going here and get himself to within 1 of victory.
Yeah, he appreciates this is a very good chance now to go within 1. And then if he does get to 5, you would fancy that
6.
he would get at least a half a chance to get himself in the next 2 frames. Of course, there are no guarantees when you're playing Ronnie O'Sullivan.
7.
Again, he's just looking for 1 or 2 good positional shots here just to get himself nicely in around this business end. Looking to play him for an area where he'll have multiple options. He's not had the best of starts to this season, Zhang Anda. Lost to a wild card in the Shanghai Masters, lost in the last 64 of Xi'an to Graham Dott. So a deep run here has been more than welcomed.
Okay. 12. $19. $20.
Well, he's just a couple of balls away now, Zhang, and he's rode his luck this frame, to be fair. Got in first with a fluke and then didn't leave anything straightforward for Ronnie for a possible counter-attack from a bizarre shot selection, it has to be said. But regardless, that's all in the past. He looks as certain to be going within one.
27.
Yeah, he's kept his head up. It's quite intimidating, O'Sullivan coming back at you. He's had back-to-back centuries, Ronnie O'Sullivan, but Zhang still exuding calm.
28.
Just took a bit of time at the start of the break just to compose himself. Now he needs 2 more pots to lead 5-4. And then the pressure transfers back to O'Sullivan to try and level up and keep himself in this Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters.
35.
Zhang is something of an enigma. He was a journeyman, let's be honest, for several years, on and off the tour. Suddenly found something last season. Made a bad start, as Stephen said, to this season, but now he leads this man 5-4 in the biggest tournament so far of the campaign. I don't expect O'Sullivan to come back to the table here. We're just 59 on 74 behind. Well, especially now.
So now the question is,
45.
can Zhang see this match out?
46.
He's played nicely this game. He's made a number of breaks. Started the match like a train. Can he finish it out like one?
52.
Well, we've had half centuries in every frame. It's been a great match.
Zhang
52 is back in front, just one away now from the quarterfinals here in Riyadh. Can Ronnie O'Sullivan find a response? He's going to have to, because he trails 5-4. Well, they both played well in this match. Ronnie O'Sullivan is the man trailing, though, 5-4. Zhang needs one to knock him out and put himself into the quarterfinals.
10. Zhang to break.
The world champion, Karen Wilson, is trailing 4-3 to Jimmy Robertson.
Just a word on Jimmy Robertson. What a brilliant week he's having, and what a start to the season for him. The last couple of years have been really tough for Jimmy, and it's great to see him back playing some good stuff. Absolutely taking it to the world champion this evening. That match is a very tasty one on table 2, but this one is also. Can Ronnie find some inspiration to get back into this game and give himself a chance of coming back to win it? That opening red will certainly help his cause.
Four. Five.
He was looking kind of frustrated in his seat, maybe
12.
just wanting the frame to start, but now it has started, he's clicked into gear.
Possibly going to be bringing more reds into play from this shot. Landed slightly low, he can just screw the cue ball out of the pack. Oh, he's played it so
13.
well. Brilliant control. They're loving it.
Well, balls are at his mercy in no time
20.
at all, so now it's about just keeping control. I think it's been such an entertaining match. It'd be great to see a decider. Of course, there's a lot of people here, let's be honest, want to see him win. But regardless of that, for the neutral, just to see this go the distance would be brilliant.
21.
Yeah, and so far 11 breaks over 50 in 9 frames of snooker tells you everything you need to know about the standard. It's been top class from start to finish. And boy, are we in for a big finish here. Ronnie O'Sullivan with the balls at his mercy. He's got them exactly
28.
where he wants them so quickly as well. Just knows how to open
29.
the pack. This really is a glorious chance. It's an art form how he goes about break building. Certain shots he plays to just bring other balls into play, the control behind it.
$36. $37. $44. $45.
Yeah, brilliant shot from Ronnie. He knew that one was the one that could potentially go wrong, but he's absolutely perfect again, and now they really are just sitting ducks for him. All he has to do is
52.
move his cue ball around, and it should be 5 apiece.
53.
Yes, all Zhang has done is break off. He left that long red. And that looks his only contribution to this frame. Two more pots required then for 5 each. Well, just off the jaw, but it's in, and we're going to be going in to a decider.
I mean, can you be critical, really, over Zhang Anda's break-off? I suppose yes, because he left the long red. But that's all he has done in this frame. Ronnie still had to knock it in, but within no time he got the balls perfect, and this has just been majestic from the rocket. I really can't pick a winner.
79.
They've both played superbly well.
80.
I suppose you probably have to favour Ronnie because of the occasion, but Zhang Anda knows he can beat Ronnie. He's got to draw on all that willpower and belief now.
87.
A one-frame shootout for a place in the quarterfinals.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 87.
The break ends at 87. We've got one more frame to decide it. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Zhang Anda level at 5-5, and the decider is coming up next. So it's 5-all.
Thank you.
It's
The
all on
final
this frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It's going to be Ronnie O'Sullivan to break in the decider. It's been a wonderful match, this. A lot of big breaks, a lot of great snooker. Who's going to prevail? Zhang, of course, only played one shot in the last frame, the break-off. He left a long red. O'Sullivan made 87.
So that red has poked its nose out on that right side again. Zhang took it on a couple of frames ago. He got nowhere near it. If he's tempted this time, he'll have to get closer. Trouble is this time he can't just drop it in without leaving a red guaranteed next to the black. So if he is going to attempt this red, he has to fully commit.
Hang on. Can't beat a decider, can you, for drama? But particularly in a match like this that has been high in quality. Oh, wow, what a pot. There was value in it because he would have had a shot at the black. But even so, what a pot that is to get in.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant pot from Ronnie. And now he's just got to float this black in. There's a red waiting over the middle pocket. Talk about bullying your way into a frame. What a pot that was. Look at the state of this. That really is so good. Beautiful shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Nice.
He's worked his way into a chance, a match-winning chance now. This match has had everything. Wasn't far away from the opening red. Zhang got very close to knocking it in.
14.
Probably went back to his seat thinking, oh, what a result there. I've not left anything. He did leave
15.
something. And this is now the result. He's sat in his chair watching the best ever at the table in a deciding frame. No doubt fearing the worst.
22.
You'd have to be, wouldn't you? Against Ronnie O'Sullivan, but particularly the way he's looked tonight, as I say, he's been so keen
23.
so keen to win and keep his run going here in Riyadh. We saw that in the last frame, the way he just dashed it off in a few minutes.
Possibly come up slightly low on this red at the back of the pack. And if he is, it's not ideal because he doesn't really want to be topping that cue ball through the reds. It's very difficult to control, so plan B.
31.
And if he plays for that same red, he's got to make sure he gets straight or high. Yeah, that's okay. Big area.
38. 39. 46.
So it's going to come down to disturbing the Reds
47.
here.
Again, it's not the best pack to attack, but he's got a little corridor down the right side. He can just play like a delayed screw into them. Oh, that's beautiful. Perfect. A little bit of a hampered queuing, but if he knocks this in, he's away.
Yeah, this is on now. It's starting to look like a grandstand finish, but still a little bit of work to do.
$62. $63.
Well, it's been a great match, and Zhang has played superbly. He led 3-0. You have to say, though, that missed red in frame 4 when he had a chance for 4-0 at the interval. That was significant, because he could have really taken a grip on the match early on.
It feels massive, doesn't it, that red? Because it was a definite moment in the match where Ronnie's ears just pricked up and he fancied the job all of a sudden. Doing what he does best. He's smelt blood here.
70.
He's just inevitable.
This red is match ball. What a finish. There's the roar from the crowd. The man they've come to see. They'll be seeing again in the quarterfinals. His 146th ranking event quarterfinal. He had to work to get there. But my word, he's come to life in these last 2 frames.
78.
Long red from the Zhang break-off in the 10th frame, and then that red to the green pocket in this one to start this break. Break ends at 78. Zhang has seen enough. It's been a wonderful match, and it's been won by the great Ronnie O'Sullivan. There is the Riyadh roar for the 7-times world champion, who puts himself into the quarterfinals of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters. He's beaten Zhang in a thriller, 6-5.
Yes. Hello, yes.